Are these central midfield wonderkids better than Jude Bellingham? In this video, I will be analyzing some other young central midfielders who have similar qualities to Jude Bellingham, and then at the end of the video, I will rank them in order of current and potential abilities. But just before we start, all I ask of you is to hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, which would be very much appreciated. And also, this video is another collab with Atlantis Football, so if you want to check out his video for a full stylistic and statistical breakdown of Bellingham, go check out that video, which will be linked in the description. So Bellingham is a unique type of central midfielder, a player who has the ball progressing ability to play in a deep midfield role in possession, but also has the off-the-ball movement and creative ability in the final third, so I describe him as either a roaming playmaker or a box-to-box central midfielder. So the first player I will discuss that could potentially be better than Bellingham is Ajax's 19-year-old Dutch midfielder Ryan Gravenburgh, whose current contract runs until 2023, so come this summer he'd have 1 year remaining and therefore could be available for as little as 20 to 25 million pounds. Gravenburgh, like Bellingham, is an all-around central midfielder, capable of playing in a midfield double pivot as well as a midfield 3. He is a fantastic ball progressor from deep positions, having the ability to allow the ball to roll across his body and use a body feint to accelerate past some of the best defenders. His tight ball control and physicality also makes him an excellent carrier of the ball, and his long passing ability is equally impressive. All of these attributes make Gravenburgh an excellent roaming playmaker, able to progress the attack forward with a long pass from deep or with a driving dribble through the midfield. When we look at his FBref report over the past 365 days compared to every other midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues, we can see that he ranks in the 90th percentile or higher for interceptions and dribbles, the 80th percentile or higher for assists, progressive passes, progressive carries, and progressive passes received, while also ranking in the 77th percentile for expected assists. Like Bellingham, Gravenburgh isn't a destruction ball winner primarily, and so in order to get the best out of him, playing him in a roaming central midfield role will allow him to drop deep in possession when needed, but also push forward into the attacking third, where his dribbling, vision, creativity, and his long-range shooting ability in particular can be used to full effect. The next player on this list is Lyon's 21-year-old Frenchman Maxence Caderet, who, like Gravenburgh, has a contract until 2023, so this summer would probably be available for as little as 20 million pounds. Caderet is a slightly different type of central midfielder to Bellingham and Gravenburgh, as he is smaller at around 5 feet 8 and doesn't have their physicality, but he is arguably a better technical player than both. Caderet reminds me of players like Xavi Hernandez or Luka Modric, as he's an elite passer of the ball, knowing when and how to play short quick passes in the midfield and making a move into space and then receive another pass. His close ball control allows him to drift past players in the center of midfield, and he's extremely press resistant when being pressurized in his own defensive third, as Gravenburgh also is, making him suitable to play a deeper midfield role, and this ability allows his side to play out of an aggressive press and move the attack forward into the open space behind the pressing lines. Despite his lack of overt physicality defensively, he isn't a liability, being a decent standing tackler, being able to wrap his foot around a player to win the ball. Looking at his FBref report, we can see that he ranks low for the final creative metrics, suggesting he's much better playing as a deep-lying playmaker rather than as a roaming playmaker as I suggested for Gravenburgh, with the Frenchman ranking in the 90th percentile or higher for progressive passes, dribbles, pressure, blocks, and tackles, and in the 70th percentile for progressive passes received, pass completion, and all of these metrics are exactly what you would look for in a deep-lying creator. And just before we go on to the next player, remember to subscribe with the notification bell to never miss any of my future videos. So the next player on this list is Real Madrid's 18-year-old new signing Eduardo Kamavinga, who was signed this summer from Rennes for a fee in the region of 25 million pounds. Camavinga is similar to Caderet in the sense that both of these players are far more suited to playing in deeper central midfield roles. And this is because, like Caderet and Gravenburgh, to be fair, Camavinga is very press resistant, able to drive past players in the center of the midfield using his close ball control and ability to change direction quickly and swivel away from pressing players. Camavinga is also an excellent long passer like Cataract and Gravenburgh, but I would say that of the three, Camavinga is the best ball winner, and is capable of playing the role of a deep single pivot in a regista role. He has the athleticism to chase down players running with the ball and put in well-timed sliding tackles to break up attacks. Something that is an extremely valuable skill set to have in central midfield, as it allows his side to sustain attacks and more importantly stop the opposition from countering into the final third after a turnover. When we look at his FREF report, we can see just how good he is at doing this, as he ranks in the 90th percentile or higher when compared to other midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues for tackles, pressures, pass completion, and dribbles, while also ranking in the 80th percentile or higher for progressive passes received and progressive carries. Like Cataract, we can see that Camavinga's final third creative metrics aren't at the level of Gravenburgh's or Bellingham's, showing that Camavinga is better suited to playing a deeper line creative role when in possession. I think for Real Madrid, he's the perfect long-term replacement for Toni Kroos, as I can see him fulfilling the role of the deep-lying playmaker in that side, either in the midfield 3 or in midfield 2. And I can see him eventually progressing into playing as a regista in a deep single pivot because of his tackling, athleticism, press resistance, and passing range, which is exactly what makes an elite level regista in the modern game. The next player on this list is Barcelona's 18-year-old midfielder Pedro. Pedro, like Bellingham, has a lot of top-level experience for such a young player, but he differs significantly from Bellingham and to the other players I've mentioned. While the likes of Cataract and Camavinga are deeper line creators, Pedro is an advanced creator, who rather than sitting deep when in possession is better when he is allowed to drift between the line of the opposition's midfield and defense and be a playmaker in the final third. Pedro is similar to Iniesta, as he's a superb carrier of the ball, having the close ball control, low center of gravity, and ability to swivel past players that Iniesta had, which allows him to carry the ball through the center of the pitch. Pedro is much more active in the final third than Iniesta, playing more as an advanced central midfielder ahead of a double pivot than as one of the two ahead of a single pivot in the midfield 3, which was where Iniesta played for years. Pedro's awareness and vision combined with his subtle flicks, body feints, and defense-splitting passes make him a top-level advanced creator already at the age of 18. We saw how good he was for Spain in the Euros, and for Barcelona last season he showed the same chance-creating ability, as well as his long passing ability from deeper positions in the defensive and middle thirds. Pedro, unlike the other three and Bellingham that I've mentioned, can't really be used in a midfield 2, as while being competent defensively, he doesn't have the physicality or tackling ability to play in a deep midfield position. However, unlike the others, Pedro does have the chance-creating ability in the final third, which makes him perfect for the role of an advanced playmaker, either in front of a midfield double pivot or as one of the two central midfielders ahead of a single pivot in a 3-man midfield. His FREF report shows that he ranks in the 90th percentile or higher in metrics like non-penalty XG plus expected assist, touches in the penalty area, progressive passes received, pressures, and blocks, while ranking in the 80th percentile or higher for non-penalty XG, expected assists, shot-creating actions, and progressive carries, which backs up my opinion that Pedro is the best advanced midfielder of the players I have discussed. Now, there are some other highly rated, promising young central midfielders who you could compare to Bellingham, like EX Mariba or Curtis Jones, but I think that Gravenburgh, Cataract, Camavinga, and Pedro are the current best of the bunch. But who would I rank them along with Bellingham? Well, I think that in terms of current and potential ability, the list would go Camavinga, Pedro, Bellingham, Cataract, and Gravenburgh, with Camavinga and Pedro both better than Bellingham, I would say, but Bellingham still being ahead of Cataract and Gravenburgh in his development, but I see big futures for all 5 of these players, with all having the ability to be world-class midfielders. So if you've made it to the end of the video, congrats. I also have another very interesting video where I discuss why Lukaku will have a bigger impact at Chelsea than Ronaldo will at United. So click this video right in front of you and I'll see you in the next one.